Kadosh, how are you? I hope all is well. I wanted to share with you a very beautiful idea about Rabbi Pereda. This is talking about chinuch, educating children. Rabbi Pereda, he actually was coming and he was the best of all of teachers, what we say. He was to teach a child. The Gemara in Eruvin Nundalet says that he went and he taught a child 400 times until the child was able to understand. Usually you would have to teach for 4 times, but this child came and he needed it 400 times. We did mention in the past, there's a concept about learning, like the Gemara there says, you have to always learn everything minimum 4 times. If you learn it 40 times, it's in your pocket. If you learn it 100 times, it's even more. And 101, you will never forget it, as the Gemara says. However, though, right, a long time ago, Rav Nisim Karelitz once asked this Talmid that it was so difficult. After he didn't understand tens of times, so what did it help then? What exactly, how many chazarot did you have that Rabbi Preda came and he taught it 400 times in 400 different ways until he was zachat to understand it? So it says that Rabbi Preda, he actually went and he actually taught it in a completely different way, which means that every single way that he taught it was new. He came and one time he did it with a mashal, with a parable. Another time he went and he did it with a drawing. Another time he did it with writing it down. Another time he did it like as a partnership, and many different ways until finally he went and he taught. And then the Talmid came and he was able to learn it. Mechanech, a person that's in chinuch, he has to always pay attention that if he once said that if a child fails on a test, so then it's my failure, right? It's not the child's failure. It's my failure. Why? Because it's nothing to do with the child. I have to take responsibility for myself. I the one that I'm a matzliach to teach him. If the child is sleeping, he's tired? Maybe I'm tired. Because maybe it's all on me. In the beginning of this parasha, Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he has to take out Am Yisrael. He has a shavua to take out, to save Am Yisrael and to bring them to the promised land. Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he says, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they're not going to listen to me. Why? They're working too hard. And everyone knows, what does this mean? Why wouldn't you want to? I'm telling you, you're going to be redeemed. Why wouldn't they want to listen? Right? So how could they not listen? Yonatan ben Uziel comes and he says, Avodah Kasha means that they were in Avodah Zarah. They had Mitzrayim inside of them. So since they had Mitzrayim inside of them, they couldn't hear anything about spirituality. For them, there's so much in the Tum'ah. Somebody that's so much in the Tum'ah cannot hear anything of anything spiritual. It just doesn't go. So therefore, what happens? So what happens is all of a sudden he says, right, he's not listening to me. So if he's not listening to me, so what's happening? So he says, so if he's not listening to me, so what's happening? He says, Em b'nei Yisrael lo shamu elai, ve'ech yishmeni Pharaoh. If b'nei Yisrael are not listening to me, so how's Pharaoh going to listen to me? So here also, do you realize, right, that that's the way of a person that's teaching Torah and Derech Eretz and Yirat Shamayim. When you have a child that it's in, that he's too much into the Tum'ah, it's not speaking to him. But the Mechanech has to learn responsibility. The one that's an educator has to learn responsibility from Moshe Rabbeinu. What is it? Moshe Rabbeinu comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he says, Hem b'nei Yisrael lo shamu elai, why? Va'ani aral sfatayim. I am the problem. It's not in them. Which means maybe I still don't know how to get it to them. I don't know how to break into their hearts. I don't know how to put all the emphasis and the enthusiasm in there. A world where everything has to do with the me, that I am the one that's taking responsibility for everything that's happening, that's when Be'ezrat Hashem, the limud will come and we'll start going into them. And that's why it's so important for us just to remember these words, because that's the way that we're going to have always a lot of success in our education of children. Shabbat Shalom.